2023. It is 10:22 a.m. right now. Every time I cross that bridge, I have to look both ways to see how pretty it is. I'm driving out of the neighborhood as usual. Lately, anyways, right? That's what you've been seeing me do lately. So I went to bed last night to past life regression hypnotherapy session to revisit your happiest life or lives. And I vaguely remember some things about that experience. It's hard for me to tell if it was all one life or if it was several pieces from several lives. But what I remember is I was an older man, very wise, very educated, very spiritually connected, and very admired amongst the community. And possibly even very well known. I have images of me standing in front of people and people coming to me for advice and people just loving me, just giving and showing me so much love and admiration, and me just loving everyone I came in contact with. That's it. I don't really have any other memories or visions about who was there in that lifetime or anything special that I did or created or experienced, other than just the energy of love and knowing that I feel like in this lifetime that is a place that I keep trying to reach. That I don't know is attainable. I don't know. It may not be. From what I have been researching, there are very specific rules or laws in this lifetime, and we are not able to access certain knowledges and informations because our little human minds and brains would not be able to comprehend them anyways. It's just way too much energy and too much information for us to process in this lifetime, and that we have to be given little bits of nuggets of information throughout our life. And that could be why a lot of people aren't wiser and knowledgeable and patient and all these great things until they reach an older age, because they've been getting downloaded all this information throughout their life, and now they can understand a little more later, you know, like putting a puzzle together or something. The other understanding, which totally makes so much sense, piecing together all of the knowledge that I have acquired over the last couple years, is that the new children are naturally born with the ability to access some of this information and to process it a lot quicker than we have in the past. So you'll notice there's just a lot of enlightened children. They understand things. Like I was explaining to a 12-year-old just this weekend something. Let me try to remember. I don't even remember how it started. She had asked me a question, and I told her maybe it was related to why I quit my band or why I deleted my social media, something like that. And I told her I felt like I needed to retreat inward, and which led her to ask me more questions, right? And I was like, okay, bear with me. This may sound ridiculous, but this is what I've been doing. So I talked to her about following Sam the Illusionist and Matthias de Stefano and like Dolores Cannon and all just randomly. I didn't go into detail because I didn't want to confuse her, but I explained to her that I needed to retreat inward so that I could practice love and light and get away from negative energies so that I can help pretty much save the planet, right? And when I explained to her where all this information came from, she was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. We are definitely on the verge of destroying our planet. And yeah, that makes sense. And I was so happy and surprised that she understood. And I was just like, oh, what a sense of relief, you know, because I could have given her this information and she could have been like, cuckoo, you know, like, you are weirder than I thought. Or just as weird as I thought. But she didn't take it like that at all. She was like, yeah, I get it. I was like, wow, thank you, child. Because other adults that I try to explain some of this stuff to look at me like, what the fuck have you been doing with your life? Or like I could see that in their mind they're like thinking that I've lost it, I'm on the verge of schizophrenia, but they don't want to say it, and they just like come from a place of curiosity, like, oh, tell me more, you know, and they really don't completely understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Some people do. Some people are like just super interested because they feel like they're on the beginnings of that same path. I'm just a little further ahead, so I can help give them information so they can jump ahead. But so I feel like that's another reason why I had to disconnect from a lot of I guess opinions of others, or people that just didn't understand, because I don't need them trying to psychoanalyze me and trying to correct what I'm doing. What I'm doing is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, whether it makes sense to other people or not. And it is not my job to have to try to constantly explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's too much energy and too much effort, and they're not going to understand anyways. It's like me talking, I guess honestly, talking to a tree would probably be more insightful and more pleasant, because I feel like the tree already knows. I'm behind when it comes to the earth. The earth knows already what we're doing to it. We are the ones doing it and still are figuring out that our actions are affecting everything around us. I even feel like sometimes a container of plastic or garbage or even this jacket might be more in tune than some human beings walking around on our planet. Which is kind of sad. Because if we are like the intelligent ones, we should be more compassionate and understanding and accepting of all this information and more in tune. But perhaps we are not the intelligent beings on the planet. You know? Has that ever occurred to anyone that maybe the earth, the trees, the grass, all that stuff is actually smarter than us, because it just kind of intuitively lives its life and doesn't go around destroying other life forms like we do.